This is Team Foodwatch, and we're here to present our app, which is a mobile app. So here at Foodwatch, we've been trying to design an app that is able to both help people prepare their meals, decide on what to eat, maybe eat healthier, meet their fitness goals, while at the same time trying our best to solve the problem of food waste. Because food waste is a pervasive issue in the modern day, and we feel like if we're able to contribute in this way to solving it, it would really help because consumers compose of over 40% of the total food waste. And food waste as a whole could feed billions of people if everybody just was more careful with it. So this is our onboarding step. It's got some really nice icons and a really obvious arrow to show how to progress to the next step. Noel drew this beautiful artwork to just make it look better and make it clear what the purpose of our app is. So we're just going to go in as a guest because we can. You see here on the home screen, we are in a menu that shows our next meal, dinner, and breakfast. So the first focus task that we are going to be doing is recipe finding. So immediately on the app, you already see clearly the recipe for the next meal. This is going to be AI generated. AI generates a meal for you based on your preferences, based on these options here. You can adjust these options however you want. You can make them vegetarian. You can lower or raise the calorie target, but depending on your dietary needs. We want to make this very customizable for the user, and we want these icons at the bottom to also be very obvious in what they do. So you see this recipe up here. It's just salmon nigiri. However, if you don't want to eat that right now, you can simply go in, click this X button. We currently don't have functionality for this yet. We're not sure how to get it working with Figma, but once you click this X button, it'll remove this and then it'll give another AI generated recommendation, or if you configure it as such, it will just delete and you can input your own meal or say, I'm going to skip this meal. What you can also do is you can click into it to view the meal in more detail. For example, you can go in and view the, it's an online recipe. You can go view the meal and it can show you more details about the meal. Our second task is meal prepping, which is just basically preparing meals for future days. Now, this is different from recipe finding in that it has more of an element of just planning ahead, knowing what you're going to do in the future. And the way our app wants to solve this is by telling you to use ingredients that you currently have rather than just giving you recipes purely based on preferences. Like if you want to make snickerdoodles, you're going to need eggs, but if you don't have eggs, it won't tell you to make snickerdoodles. We want to make it flexible and usable for the user in that way. So we have a calendar here which shows future meals, and this is also AI generated. So we want to give the user more options, and it shows breakfast, lunch, dinner, and there's a calendar. It'll recommend in the future. And here's our inventory that shows the things we have, and it'll make these recommendations based on the inventory. As with the part about recipe finding, you can do the same by tapping on these and customizing them, deleting them if you don't want them, or changing them however you want. We want to give the user a lot of autonomy and flexibility to do as they choose, and we want to make it clear that the user has all these options by making these very clear icons for what you can do. For example, you can click on these buttons and they'll do exactly what they look like, and we want to make sure this is a simple yet clean design for the user.